Hey guys, it's me Rebecca. So this will be the start of another weekly vlog, and so far today I've just done some cleaning and whatnot and helped my mother put up the Christmas decorations, which I will show you after I rumble. And even though we don't celebrate Christmas, it's really like we put it up because to her this means the winter season. So but if you saw my last vlog, you would have seen that I was reading the story of a new name, and I've already edited and exported that vlog, and so I'm not redoing that work. So you're getting my final review here, as I did finish it today, and I did like it. I'm probably gonna give it 4 stars. If this we see Lila trying to house Stefano. Then she's pregnant and the child is not his, but she does come back to him, but he's in a state of denial? I guess I don't even know what to call it, but he knows about the affair she had with Nino, and it seems like he's pretending that the child is his, probably for his reputation, probably. But things do start to fall apart for them as he starts an affair with a girl named Ida, and she's just for pregnant, and Ida wants to take Lila's place, and Stefano gets upset with her when she just try to do so, and Lila's like, "You can do that. You can have him." And she leaves with Enzo and with her son, and she also wants to educate her son. She wants to make sure he is as smart as he can be, more brilliant than she was able to be. And she and Enzo, they leave and go in an apartment together, and she's just really stuck in that apartment until she asks Bruno, a friend of Nino, for a job, and just give her one fruit in not a best place. It's like in a place where they make sausages, and well, you can imagine a workplace environment as in my word. But yeah, she doesn't like Bruno. It seems like he finds him disgusting and whatnot. But yeah, it's just the whole denial thing. If it was this Stefano wanting to save face, that was like, well, yeah, at least that's over. And with Elena, she just continue on in her education, and she doesn't feel wholly accepted in Pisa, where she's learning, as everyone there is from cultured backgrounds and is more well educated, more proper, I guess, than she is. And also, when she does finish her education, she really doesn't feel like she belongs in Naples anymore. Few times she does. We go back to the dialogue. She does think she is, I guess, better than others. She's improved, but she's always go back. So that was interesting. And she did write a novel and gave it to her boyfriend turned fiance, who gave it to his mother, who then handed it to a publisher, and well, she's getting a publishing deal, so and it's like it brings pride both in her family because she's able to bring in an income from this, but also almost disdain, I guess, because she is the first person in her family to really achieve the highest level of education, and when her father sees that his last name is on a book, it's almost like, I guess he's ashamed of what he couldn't accomplish, or just for like how the last name associated with a bunch of illiterates be on a book cover. There's that. I mean, to see her still like struggling because she's not confident at all. She doesn't feel like she belongs there, that something might go wrong, and she's so, I mean, she's only 23 at this point, so she is insecure that people will hate it, and she's gotten some feedback on certain scenes about it, and how it is almost distasteful and almost like not disturbing, but there's probably more of a distasteful nature. I'm trying to look for the exact word that was used for that. Yeah, more risque, I guess, with a certain scene in the way it was written. And she's at a talk thing where she's supposed to give a talk and people are supposed to ask questions, and someone who most people don't seem to like asks a question, and everyone says essentially rolling their eyes at him, and someone comes to her defense essentially, and it's Nino, and that's how the book ends with Nino coming back into her life. So I'm intrigued on where that will go in the third book when I get to it. So yeah, and I will update what I'm planning to read next tomorrow. So yeah. Also, this is literally, I don't know why the lights are appearing more white in my camera. In person they're more gold, but yeah, and we never do a tree topper. So it's the next day, and I've just done some work and whatnot, and I started and finished The Night Gas by Helder, not Daughter. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, but this was translated by Mary Robinette Poe. And this is about Idon is in yet another doctor's office. She knows her constant fatigue is a sign that something's not right, but physicians dismiss her symptoms and blood tests don't reveal any cause. When she talks to friends and family about it, the reframe is the same. Have you tried eating better, exercising more, establishing a nighttime routine? She tries to follow their advice, buying everything from vitamins to sleeping pills to a step count and watch. Nothing helps, until one night Iron falls asleep with the watch on and wakes up to find she's walked over 40,000 steps in the night. What is happening when she's asleep? Why is she waking up with increasingly disturbing injuries, and why won't anyone believe her? And with this one, even though it's 190 so pages, it was quite a fast read because there are multiple pages that look like this. Where it's like, there'll be like a short sentence on one side and then blankness on another, so quite fast. But we see, I don't know how, it seems like she has a bad experience with doctors in the past after a male doctor just put aside her worries about women's health, and this honestly wasn't a good doctor. And we see like she doesn't have answers, and it's frightening her, and she doesn't know what's going on, and it's not until she gets the step counting watch that she realizes something is extremely wrong. And with the step counting watch, it also had a thing where you could track where you were, not track, but map where you were going, that's what it is. And she realizes she's going to this certain area every night, and even when she tries to put traps or prevent herself from going outside, like putting a padlock on her door or whatnot, she's somehow getting out on her own. And we learn that she's kind of haunted by her sister's ghost, as her sister died from what has been drowning, and it seems like she kind of had to take her sister's place, in the sense like she had wanted to be an architect, but her mother had made her go to business school, seems like, because her sister wanted to be a CEO. And we see how an ex, it seems like, of her sister recognizes her and thinks she's her sister when really she's not. And yeah, we also see she doesn't think she has a psychological disorder and is trying to prevent and her sister from being escaping, I guess. So when a doctor or a psychologist recommends her like going to the psych ward, she doesn't want to because she worries that it won't contain her sister. It seems like I don't know, she's haunted by her sister. I know I've already said that, but I don't know if, I don't even know what the end of this book was, honestly, because I have just finished it, which was probably not the best idea to update you now, but I had some time, so why not? But the ending is like, her sister is part of the issue of cats disappearing from the neighborhood, and I should really say, be aware there are cat deaths in here, so if that triggers you, yeah, probably should steer clear of it. I saw some Goodreads reviews mentioning that, so yeah, but things kind of escalate when the sisters goes, I should say, goes after Stefan, who's Aidan's boss, or I mean, or the boss of her boss, someone in power, who she had an affair with. I mean, he's married and she broke it up, and it seems like he was quite violent about it. And the sister did something to him when he tried to, when he put a date rape drug in her drink. So it seems like the sister has also done some harm to Mar, who is the ex, who is drawn to Aidan through, besides good sex and talking about the sister reminiscing. It seems like they don't have anything in common, so I don't think that would have worked out in that end. But yeah, the whole thing was just quite interesting. I would have, however, liked to have seen, I guess, more of the relationship between Aidan and her sister, and really her family, and like what was expected of her, like of her filling her sister's shoes and really replacing her sister in the eyes of her mother. It seems like it was the mother who encouraged her to be just like her sister in any way she can. And it seems like the one way Aidan rebelled, I guess, against that was adopting a vegetarian diet, which her mother does not respect, and keeps buying meat for dinner, even though she knows damn well that, well, Aidan is a vegetarian. So yeah, this book was just quite interesting, I would say. It was quite interesting just seeing, like, I don't really figure out what is going on and what she should do and whatnot. So yeah, overall I thought it was quite interesting and I gave it 4 stars, so yeah. And tomorrow I'll tell you what I'm planning to read next, but yeah, I think that's all for now. So it's the next day and I've done some work and whatnot, and I think I'm gonna keep this update a bit short just because I am dealing with a sore throat, and well, my throat kind of still hurts. I don't know if I'm coming down with something, but yeah, but the book I am reading, and is Prophet Song by Paul Lynch. And this is about, on a dark, wet evening in Dublin, scientist and mother of 4, Elish Stack, her wife, enters her front door to find the GNSB on her step. 2 officers from Ireland's newly formed secret police are here to interrogate her husband, a trade unionist. Ireland is falling apart, caught in the grip of a government turning toward tyranny. As the life she knows and the ones she loves disappear before her eyes, Alice must contend with the dystopian logic of this new, unraveling Ireland. How far will she go to save her family, and what or who is she willing to leave behind? So yeah, with this we see, like, the novel opens with these two people from the secret police on her front door looking for her husband. She tells them he'll be home in an hour, and they give her their car to give to him so they can talk to him. My fault is hurting me, I'm so sorry. And her husband, I keep on saying Paul, but that's not correct. Oh God, what is his name? Larry. He was a teacher, but he's part of a teacher union, and they're planning to hold a protest of sorts. And the secret police kind of will know his involvement in it and whatnot. And he goes to the protest, and the police show up, and people are arrested, and people like in like everyday clothing put people in unmarked cars, and they just disappear. And Larry, well, he's disappeared, and she's trying to keep it together, like her children, like her oldest two, she's told them the truth, and she didn't tell her like second to youngest son, yeah, the truth, because she was afraid how it might affect him, and as well that he might not understand. But he's kind of formed this idea that she's kicked out the father and whatnot, but then she tells him the truth, and we see how she just has to grapple with what's going on and the way things are changing in Ireland, how people in positions of power are being pushed out, and people from the government are putting their own people in for full control, and really how people she thought she knew, she seems like she feels like she no longer knows. And really it's a scary time for her and the people around her, because a bunch of boys, they put graffiti up at a school, and the principal called a GNSW, and the boys disappeared. And there were protests outside the building, and two of the boys were returned dead. So there's anger there, and she has to worry about her oldest son, who was told that he must give himself over to service the day he turns 17, and really be against the people of Ireland who are protesting. And she initially allows the fear to take a hold of her, and then it's like, no, I'm not gonna let this happen. I'm not gonna let these people in power win and let them think I'm afraid of them. I'm gonna protest. I'm gonna let them. I also like how the author is he's kind of also dealing with the hypocrisy of it in a sense, because there was a couple of sentences when Alice and her children go to a protest, people leave because there's still dinner to be cooked and people and kids to go to bed. So it's really the people who have nothing to lose who are gonna be out there all night. So I don't know, this felt like a bit of a hypocrisy to me, but yeah, so far I think it's interesting. I guess I don't really know what else to say about it, but yeah, I think how Alice is trying to get through it and try to understand what's going on, and she's not really accepting that this is a new normal, because she knows this isn't normal what's going on, but this is how life currently is. So yeah, and yeah, I don't know, I think I like it. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, as I am only on page 92. So yeah, I think that's all for now. I'm gonna rest my voice. So it's the next day, and I was able to do some work. Cause I think I mentioned yesterday, my foot was sore and all that, and yeah, I think I am. The skin is like, cause now it's like my foot is still sore, but it's like that thing where the sickness kind of moves down your body, and my body aches. So that's fun for me. And yeah, I missed some minor stuff I had to do on my laptop, so that's good for me. And I have done some reading of Prophet Song, put me on page 200, and I'm definitely liking this, because while Alish and her family, they're not like, I guess, in an active war zone. They kind of are now, with the rebels trying to stop the GNSB wanna, but it's the effects of what's happening that has, I guess, an effect on them. because now there's food rations, the grocery stores are unable to have what they need, they have to be in line and whatnot, and there's curfew which has been in place for a while now. When Alice is trying to go home from the corner store, she's not able to until because they put up barricades in front of her neighborhood, and she had to show her ID, and they have to stay at home. They have to really just protect themselves. Like the fight has gone onto the streets, and for everyone it's unsure. I mean, some people they've just given up and hope they've accepted the reality that that Alice, she has a friend named Caroline, whose husband was also taken in Caroline, and it seems like has accepted the fact like her husband and Alish's husband are both the dead. And there's also Alice who has to worry about her oldest son who went away instead of doing like what the plan was, which was to send him out of state to the north and to school there, and decided to join the rebels. And he's not been contacting her. He was contacting his sister and his girlfriend, but it seems like he's cut off contact with them as well to protect them. And they're not sure if he's alive or dead. And it's also what I'm liking is seeing how this is affecting people, like, I guess mentally, because with Molly, who's the only daughter, she's fallen into a depressive where she cannot even get out of bed and whatnot. And with Alicia's second youngest, second youngest, he's like 12, 13, he is talking about this worm inside him that he can get out and whatnot. He seems to think this is all Alicia's fault, what is happening, the fact that they had to sell their car, the fact that life isn't how it used to be, that somehow it's her fault, and he's angry and he's acting out. And with Alice we see I don't think it's denial, but she can't help but imagine her husband there and is talking to him as if he is there and just wants him there. There's that, and seeing how quickly life is changing and is interesting, I guess. I don't know. And as well, she does have a father who has Alzheimer's or dementia. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but it seems like he is unaware almost of what's happening and thinks that it's before this all happened, and I'm kind of afraid of that, but I do have to say one thing about the book is that be aware that there's no quotation marks at all with dialogue, and when there is dialogue, it's intertwined, I guess, with what is it, like the quotes, the paragraphs. So be aware of that. And yeah, so far it's definitely interesting seeing what's happening. And yeah, I think that's all for now. Actually, I want to lie down, so that's why I'm doing this update now. So I'll see you next. So it's the next day, and I don't know if you can tell, but I'm still quite sick. It seems like the cold's mostly moved up because yesterday was my throat. And like my throat was made out of sandpaper, now it's in my head. So yeah, that's fun. So I've just been taking it easy today, just resting, and I also did quite a bit of reading today, and I did finish Prophet Song by Paul Lynch, and I did enjoy this. And I gave it 4 stars. I'm laughing because I honestly did think this was real. This was written in a way that felt it's something that happened in real life, but it is dystopian. So that was interesting. I mean, obviously, like when the rebels, when they come into, I guess, Dublin or wherever, Alice and her family are living. They would think things would change, but things are still remaining the same. The barricades are up, and they nowadays have to go through checkpoints if they want to go into the city. So that is something. And what I do like is speaking like why people will not leave this place where wars breaking out, because they can, like they have every opportunity to, but they won't, because this is their home, this is where they grew up, this is where their loved ones are. And to abandon it, it wouldn't feel right. If after all their life limits don't even ever know, so starting over, this is not easy, and I don't know, it is like that. And we see how she's just losing more people. Like her father, who again has Alzheimer's or dementia, thought he forgot that his wife died, and he went looking for her, thinking she simply left him. When her sister Ines, I think that's how you say that name, her people who she's working with to get her family out of the country, found him and got him out, it seems like. And we see how either she loses her son Bailey, but unlike Mark and Larry, her oldest son and her husband, she does see the body, and she sees the torture he went through in this a short time span, because it was only just over 24 hours of, it seems like, of sending him to the hospital when he was caught in a blast. And it says in his record, in the official death certificate, that he died from heart failure. So it seems that's what caused her to, I don't know, decide to get to get her daughter and her youngest son out of this country. And we see the journey on how it's rough and dangerous and a bit sketchy, and it's just, yeah, it's just incredibly dangerous. And the book ends with them getting on the boat, and we just, I don't know, it is like how we don't know that after, like if Alice was able to survive because she didn't put on a life jacket because she had her son strapped to her. If they both survived, if Molly survives, like we just don't know what happens afterwards. If they get to to Ines in Canada, or what happens next. So, for seeing this, and you could really feel the fear and again the realness of the events happening. And I like where the title comes from, in a sense. Prophet Song, it's not about the world ending, be like literal, like the entire world ending. It's your world ending, essentially, because your country's at war, your world is at war. So I don't know. It was probably better the details are described, I guess, in the book than how I'm making it. But again, I do have a code, so yeah. I think that's all for now. I will let you know what I'm going to make. So yeah. So it's the next day, and as you saw, not entirely sure if I'm gonna put that clip in. I did go out today. I just had to do some grocery shopping and whatnot, the whole thing, and yeah, that's, oh my god, was it a struggle. It was quite chilly outside today, and yeah, I'm still quite nasally. I probably sound like I'm still quite sick, but yeah, hopefully that's when it's over. And to that, which I had to go to so many places that took like 5 hours, so I'm dead. And I'm just doing this update so I can just lay on the couch for the rest of the day. But and I did do some reading before I left, and I started drive your plow over the bones of the dead by Olga Arcus. And this is translated by Antonia Lloyd Jones. This is this edition, which I think it's like it's grotto, or I want to say, but I could be so wrong about that. Well, this is about, in a remote Polish village, Jana Druszczyk
An eccentric woman in her 60s recounts the events surrounding the disappearance of her 2 dogs. She is reclusive and preferring the company of animals to people. She's unconventional, believing in the stars, and she is fond of the poetry of William Blake, from those work the title of the book is taken. The members of a local hunting club are murdered. Duzichiko becomes involved in an investigation. By no means a conventional crime novel, this is essential thriller by the Nobel Prize in Literature. Lucret offers thought-provoking ideas on our perceptions of madness and justice against marginalized people, and avoids the hypocrisy of traditional religion, belief in predestination, my God, and caused a genuine political uproar in Poland. Now, I'm only on page 68 through page 1, it's page 11 essentially. So I've only read like 56. What page am I on again? I'm so sorry. 68, yeah, about 57 pages I've read so far, and this is quite interesting so far. In the sense with our narrator, she doesn't really like that name. It's like a name she was given, not a name she chooses, so she doesn't really like that name, so I'm just gonna continue with unknown narrator. And she lives in this village where people typically could go leave when it's winter, and it's only her and 2 other people. One she calls, she doesn't, I wouldn't say, one she calls Bigfoot and Audible, and the book begins with Audible coming to her and saying that Bigfoot is dead, and what they do, like, they probably think what they're doing is, like, out of respect for the body, like, they move him and they change his clothes, dress him up in a suit, and the only suit he had, apparently, and went up. I'm like, this is a nightmare for any crime scene investigator. The police probably hate them for this. And we do see Audible's son, who is part of the police, come and kind of tell off his dad for doing that. I don't know, this is a bit funny, but yeah, it's this trying to kind of, I guess, deal with the aftermath, I guess, of Bigfoot's death, and how our narrator, she did have issues with him in the sense he was a hunter, and he would set up traps and whatnot, and she would bury the animals he killed in her yard in a makeshift graveyard, and she did try to report to the police, and nothing was done about that. And what I do like, I should say, is that so far it's quite an isolated place, because right now it is winter and there's only the 3 of them now, the 2 of them in this community, and then there's the local village, and when it snows heavily, it's difficult for help or for people really to come because of the state of the roads. And so it's that isolation, as well as the fact, like, they're kind of on the outskirts of not the society but of the country, because it seems like the way our narrator is describing it, that they're almost on the border of the Czech Republic of where they're living. So there's that. And yeah, so far that's pretty interesting. She is someone who's a big fan of the Zodiac and all of that stuff that's related to that, and she's trying to make a connection. So yeah, so far it's just interesting, I guess. I'm just intrigued on where this will be going, because yeah. So yeah, I think that's all for now. I'm gonna lie down. So it's the next day, and I'm still feeling sick. So yeah, but I scooped up a bit longer than I usually do today. Sorry, I'm like, what was that sentence?
I overslept. Usually I sleep 6-7 hours. That's fine with me, my body. Ended up sleeping 8, which probably was due to me a long day yesterday in the cold, and this for me not feeling well, so interested in what I usually do, which it is what it is. But yeah, and I've done some housework and whatnot. Like, not feeling like horrible, but this isn't my fault, so it is what it is. But my energy is not completely there, so I've just been taking it easy, and I have done some reading of Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. I don't really know if this is the book you should be reading when you're sick, but this is what my brain went, so and I'm on page 130 right now, and I am liking it. I am liking seeing our main character, how she uses the zodiac and astrology to figure things out, like, oh, this person died on this day and was caused by this. Like, with Bigfoot, he died in this world that he died by choking on a bone, and that's what his astrology chart says. And she's trying to figure out that for someone else, in fact, another character who she names the Commander, I think it was, recommending someone who works in a police force. He died, he was fallen into a well, and she thinks it's the animals getting back at him as he was a hunter, and we're saying how we shouldn't be hunting animals, we're just like them in the basic sense, we just think we're superior to them. Like, when people go hunting, they don't always take their kill and leave them to rot, and it saddens her, and people look at her like she's a batshit crazy. Like, she's a very, very eccentric character, and I do like that about her love for animals and whatnot. And we did get a bit of a kind of info dump, I would say, about her life before she came to this village, how she was in architecture work, someone who built bridges, and then of her and endowments, she wasn't able to continue that, so she went to being a teacher, and then she became too old for that, essentially, because she lost her job, and it was like a difficult time period for everyone. And then there was the younger people who needed jobs, so that's how she became there. And we do see her name endowments and how it affects her. And yeah, so far with her character, I do find her interesting, and I do like she has this, I guess, former student in Dizzy who comes by her house, and they translate Blake into Polish, and seeing them struggle to translate his English and keep the meaning of what Blake is trying to say and what he's trying to show, keep it real to what they think he's trying to say, and translate that into Polish, like, and seeing how difficult that is for them. That's also something I find interesting, because there are so many ways you can translate one thing. And with poetry, with Blake especially, it's only their interpretation, and really it's just, I guess, their not bias, but their viewpoint on what he's trying to say is affecting this translation, and that's something I do like. And yeah, I'm just curious and seeing if there will be more human kills, I should say, and what will happen next. But yeah, so far I do find this interesting, and yeah. And that's really it for this vlog, as it is on Saturday, and I do end my vlogs on Saturday, so yeah, considering I'm planning to start my next vlog tomorrow, I just hope I don't sound worse than I do now. I'm holding back a cough. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below telling me what you've been up to recently. If you want to, please subscribe to the channel, and if you want to follow me on any social media, all those links are in the down bar below. I'll see you guys next time I post a video. Bye.